Hello, everyone. This is a class on presentations. And hello, Lydia. How are you?
I'm fine.
Excellent. And where are you from, Lydia?
I'm from Peru.
Peru. Awesome. It's quite late there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's later.
Yeah. What time is it in Peru?
12 at night.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's midnight.
Midnight. Uh-huh.
Yeah, midnight. Okay. Excellent. Yeah. I am in Idaho in the USA,
Mm-hmm.
and it's 10 p.m. here. So. And hello, Nong. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Uh,
Excellent.
Thanks for asking, teacher.
Excellent. Where are you from, Nong?
I'm from Vietnam.
Vietnam. Awesome. Okay. And
Yes.
and this is Lydia. She's from Peru. Maybe you guys were in the same class last hour. And my name is Holly, and I'm from the USA. I live in Idaho in the US. So what time is it in Vietnam right now, Nong?
Uh, it's 12 a.m.
12.
No, sorry, teacher. 12 p.m. It's
Okay.
in
Yeah, so 12, one thing you can say,
mid
instead of 12 p.m., you can say 12 noon.
12 noon.
Yeah, 12 noon. Where
Oh,
Lydia is in Peru, where it is 12 midnight.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's
So 12,
obviously.
yeah. So 12 noon is p.m. However, with some speakers, there is confusion about a.m. and p.m. And so sometimes it's better just to use these words, noon and midnight. So you don't even have to say 12. You can say it is noon, it is midnight. So
Oh, yes,
awesome.
teacher.
Yeah, all right. And are you both new to Verbling?
No, teacher. I have joined Verbling for 6 months.
6 months. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just new to my class though. So yeah, and I've been with Verbling for I was counting it up today, about 7 months now. So all
7 months.
right.
So
And
maybe
excellent.
your class is happen in happen overnight, so I can join.
Yeah, yeah. I vary when my classes are. So Lydia, are you new to Verbling?
Yes, today I have my first class, and this is the second.
Awesome. Okay, well, welcome to Verbling. You will find that every teacher is a little bit different. We all have our strengths and our weaknesses. So,
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, so every one of us. And what is nice is you can learn many different accents and from the other students and also from the teachers. So,
Mhm.
hello, Alexander.
Hello.
Hi, and this is Alexander from Russia. So we have Peru, Russia, and Vietnam. So this is awesome, and I'm in the U.S. So who knew 20 years ago that this would be able to, this we would have this kind of technology. So all right, all right, and Alexander, how are you? I mean, as far as good morning. So
Yes, it's
what
good morning for me.
it,
I'm drinking coffee.
is it about 8 or 9 a.m.?
8 a.m.
8 a.m. Okay.
8 a.m.
So it's 8 a.m. where you are. Where Nong is, it's 12 noon. And then where Lydia is in Peru, it is 12 midnight. So it's completely different. So hello, David. How are you today?
Fine, and you?
Very good. So David, where are you calling from?
I'm from Mexico.
Mexico. Okay. So
Yes,
so in Mexico it's 11 p.m. Excellent. And
yes.
I'm from Idaho where it's 10, so I'm the earliest. So or the latest, I guess. The latest as far as time zones. So David, you have you been in my classes before?
No, it's my first time in Berlin.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome, welcome.
Yes.
This is Lydia's second time. She's from Peru. She's the smiley face. Her second time, and I was just telling Lydia that every teacher has a completely different style. We all have our strengths, our weaknesses, and so you will have a lot of variety with the classes. So that'll be nice. And then with people from all over the world, you can learn all kinds of accents. so it's awesome. So we have Alexander here from Russia, and then David, you're from Mexico, Lydia from Peru, and then we have Anong from Vietnam. So, and we'll most likely have a few more people show up as the class goes on, but what I thought we'd do is go ahead and start the lesson. This lesson basically has two sections to it. First of all, we're going to talk about phrases and things related to presentations, and then we will discuss presentations, discuss giving presentations and how you feel about them. So that's what we are going to start. So I'm going to turn off my camera now and go to screen share. So bear with me a moment while I do that. Okay, and so, okay, so Alexander, who do you need to give presentations to as part of your job? What are they about? Or do you need to give presentations at all?
No, I don't need to give a presentation. It's maybe my boss.
Maybe your boss gives presentations?
Yes, it's not kind of presentation, it's more like plan maybe on future work.
Okay.
Plans.
Have you ever had the opportunity to give a professional presentation at all?
Yes, so in my university, when I graduated,
Okay.
I give a speech and presentation.
Did you like that?
I was very nervous because I have a I would say fear of
Public speaking?
Yeah. I don't very good at it, but it went well, so I got the highest mark.
Well, good, awesome. Yeah, so it's a fear of public speaking.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, and David, how about you? Do you need to give presentations on your job? And if you do, who do you need to give the presentations to as part of your job, and what are they about usually?
Well, the thing is, I'm a student, major student. Well, I have to explain to the teacher. Well, but it's a bit difficult because the teacher is British. And the presentation is not that typical presentation that you give on a slide or something. Well, this presentation is like a debate. You have to explain your ideas and debate with my whole classmates. It's a bit tricky.
Okay. Yeah. So you do some debates, which is a slightly different than regular presentations. Excellent. And so you said you're a major student. Do you mean a graduate student?
Undergraduate student. Well,
okay.
I am studying international affairs, and the presentation are about IOS, International Organization, Realism, Liberalism, Anarchy, or something about that. Yes, it's a bit difficult, but that's why I am here.
Okay. And it was in English, or was it in Spanish?
Of course, the whole class is in English. My teacher doesn't speak very fluently Spanish.
Oh, okay. Okay, excellent. And where's your teacher from?
He's from Northern Ireland.
Oh, okay.
Maybe from Newcastle. I don't know, but it's difficult.
Yeah, Newcastle, I believe, is in Ireland, or is it England?
Yes.
I think it's in England, but anyway, he's from the UK.
Yes.
Okay, so British English. Yeah,
It's
awesome.
totally different for American English. Yes.
Yeah, it
They
is.
they they always use fancy words to make difficult the class.
To make the class difficult, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I lived in Europe for about 11 years, and I was teaching English at the time, and all of my students had studied British English, and so I had the privilege of learning British English when I was teaching, so it was very interesting. So, um, but yeah, it's nice to be able to hear both English, British English and American English. That's great. So.
Yes.
Excellent. Lydia, how about you? Do you need to give presentations in your job? Um, if you
Mm,
do, who do you give them to, and what are they about?
no, I don't need to give a presentation,
Uh-huh.
unfortunately. But when I study in the university, I give a presentation in my school, in the class.
Uh-huh. Okay. So when you studied at university, did you give the presentation in English or in Vietnamese?
No, it's in Spanish.
No, I'm sorry, Spanish.
Yeah.
Nong is Vietnamese. I'm sorry, Spanish. Okay. Yeah. So you gave the presentation in Spanish. Did you enjoy giving the presentation?
And no, I don't like because it's so difficult to explain something when
Uh-huh.
all people see you.
Uh-huh. So you could say instead of I don't like, I didn't like it.
Uh-huh. I
Didn't
didn't
like
like it.
it. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. And Nong, how about you? Do you give presentations in your job? If so, who do you need to give presentations to, and what are they about?
Now I didn't have job, so I didn't have any presentations.
Uh-huh.
However, in when I was a student, I I have I had one presentation, and I have prepared very carefully, so, um, and my friends clap a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and now I like to learn to present. Maybe I will use in the future.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when you gave the presentations, was it in English or in Vietnamese?
Uh, it was in Vietnamese.
Okay. Yeah. So you enjoyed it when you did it.
Yes, I prepare a lot, and my teacher and my friends like it a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, I have an unusual background when it comes to presentations. It started out when I was in elementary school. I had a teacher who had grew up with a fear of public speaking. So she decided that she would have all of her students give a presentation at least once a month.
Oh,
And so in 9 months, my 9 months of school, and when I was 10 years old, I gave at least 10 presentations.
oh,
And by
it's
the end of that year, I was very comfortable in front of a group of people. And I am, 30 some years later, I am very thankful to that teacher for having me and the rest of us speak in front of people. And I have since then have presented to numerous people. I've given presentations online and offline at conferences, and of course to lots of different students, and of course teaching, face-to-face teaching presentations and stuff like that. So I have had all kinds of experience. So I'm very lucky in that respect. So and I enjoy giving presentations as well. And people, I'm a very shy person, but when I get on stage, I'm completely different, and people who don't know me very well, and then they see me on stage, they're like, "Oh wow, you're different." So, anyway, so what we're going to do today with this activity is we're going to go over some vocabulary words with this worksheet, and there's some noise. Could you guys mute your phones and mute your microphones when you're not speaking, please? So we'll go ahead and go through some expressions and so forth, and then after we're done with that, then it says to now you're going to give a presentation to the group, but we won't have time for that. So then what we'll do is we will go through discussion questions so you guys can talk as much as possible. So that is the plan for today. So let's start. So let's match the following words with their correct definitions. So all these words are words that are used with presentations. We have overhead projector, transparency or slide, a flip chart, a handout, a marker, a pointer, visual aids, and a whiteboard. Do you all know what all of these are? If not, I can show you in the picture. Is everybody comfortable with all of these words?
How about marker, teacher?
Okay, marker. Bear with me a moment. A marker, we have. I was giving a presentation in a job interview one time, and I used a marker, and it was a permanent marker, and I put it on the whiteboard, and I went to erase it, and here I was at this job interview, and I had used a permanent marker. So not a good thing. But these are markers. This one, of course, is a highlighter, but these are all considered markers. So right.
What color do you like?
When I'm teaching and give presentations, I usually have about 3 or 4, and I use all of them either with a flip chart or a whiteboard, and I use all the different colors. I change the colors when I change the section of the presentation, or change the part. So I try to make I use the colors to make it logical. So I usually this pack is probably the one I use the most right here. So, all right. How about you? What color do you like when you are using markers?
Maybe I only use black color.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Any other words here that you guys do not know?
Handout.
Okay, a handout is it's usually just a piece of paper that you give to the people that are listening to your presentation, so that they can follow along. And it just basically is something like that. So this person's giving papers to them. So
it's an answer sheet with the basic information about the presentation.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can follow along with it. So any other words here?
Transparency, teacher.
Which word? Transparency. Okay.
Number 2.
Transparency. Okay. Transparency is not used as much. Transparency. If something is transparent, you can see through it. And so when you have a transparent slide, you basically use them with, let's see, transparent. You basically use this with a projector. Let's see, bear with me a moment. Overhead projector. So let me show you what an overhead projector is, and then you'll get an idea. So these basically they're old-fashioned anymore, but the transparency or slide is what you put on these overhead projectors. Before the data projectors came out, so you have a data projector here. Now, this would be a data projector, so that you could see the PowerPoint slide, for example, from the computer. Does that make sense, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. All right. Any other words here? Alexander, are you okay with these words?
Visual aids.
Okay. Visual aids are anything that you show under the presentation. I'm echoing. David, could you mute?
Sorry?
Can you mute the mute your microphone?
Okay.
Thank you. Well, I still hear myself. Let me show you right here. You press this button right there where you mute the microphone. Okay, now you're perfect. Okay. But a visual aid is, say for example, somebody's giving a presentation and they pick up a book as a visual aid, or they have a poster, or they have a PowerPoint slide. A visual aid is anything that people see that will help the presenter make their point. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes. It's like a prepared material.
Yes.
To show people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And all kinds of people do it differently. So, all right. So let's go ahead and read these. Alexander, can you start? So we'll start with you. You read A, and see if you can match that.
A device that projects a transparent sheet onto a screen. Transparency slide. Oh, sorry, overhead projector.
Yeah, so that's an overhead projector, exactly. Exactly. Okay. David, could you read letter B?
Yes. A document, report, etc. given to people at a presentation. It's handout.
Handout, perfect.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, and Nong, you read letter C.
Flip chart. Number E. Letter E, a large white surface on which to write on the raw.
Okay. And what would that be?
Mm-hmm.
Any idea what that would be? Nong?
Sorry, teacher. Number 3. I think it's matched to letter E.
Oh, okay. Flip chart is matched to letter E. Nope. So what you need to do is for letter E, that would be with a whiteboard.
Letter C.
So letter C, a large pad of paper sheets for presenting information. Yes, that would be the flip chart. Exactly. Okay. All right, and Alexander, could you read letter D?
Yes, a large pen for writing on whiteboards, marker.
Yes. A marker. And David, could you read letter F?
Yes, along the device, example give a route for indicating things on a screen. Uh, Pointer.
Okay, pointer, perfect. Okay, now this word right here is not pronounced a rude, it's pronounced a rod.
Rod. Okay.
Yeah. All right, and yeah, David, could you mute, please? Thank you. I hear myself and it kind of is weird. So, okay, a transparent sheet that is projected onto a screen would be a transparency or slide. Okay, and this last one, then things that an audience can look at during a presentation, e.g. film, maps, graphs, etc., would be, of course, visual aids. And I started the last one too early. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Are there any words or phrases here that you guys do not know in this section right here? Okay, so now what we're going to do is complete the following text, and we'll be using these words in the text. So what I'd like you to do is each person would you read one sentence. So Alexander, could you start? And you start here and go to this word graphs.
Sorry, could you repeat, please?
Yeah, could you read actually 2 sentences? Start here and go to this word graphs.
Okay. I completely messed up the presentation yesterday. After presenting the first few slides, the overhead projector stopped working, so I had to redraw the sales graphs.
Okay, and David, could you read the next 2 sentences?
Yes. Everything went smoothly for a while, but then the flip chart ran out of paper. We went into the second conference room, which had a large whiteboard.
Okay. All right. And Nong, can you read the next 2 sentences?
So I continued the presentation using a whiteboard to draw attention to the graphs that I had carefully drawn, but then the marker ran out of ink.
Okay, yeah, then the marker ran out of ink. Okay. Okay, and number 5, I'm thinking it is a pointer. So, yeah, number 5 is a pointer, using a pointer. Okay. And Alexander, could you read the next sentence?
Luckily, there was a photocopy machine in the room, so I made a copy of the material and distributed the handout to everyone. Handouts.
Okay, and David.
I managed the rest of the presentation fine, I suppose, but I'd like to know who was responsible for organizing the wait, visual aids. Visual aids. Sorry.
Yes, absolutely. The visual aids. Yes. Visual aids in our company. All right. Has anybody besides me experienced anything like this before? Alexander, have you ever seen this happen in any of your company, any presentations you have attended?
Not in company. It happened many times. When I was in university.
Okay.
We often use projector, but not this in article, the new one, the digital, but it's all the time something happened with it.
Yeah. I remember when the data projector first started, and we had to sit and wait for the technology issues to get over. Because I always had technology issues. So, David, have you ever seen this type of situation happen?
Yes, well, once when I was presenting, when suddenly the Canyon, Canyon or yes, it's Canyon or I don't know.
I think you're thinking of the data projector.
Projector, sorry. The projector broke and
maybe the bulb went out.
And everything went wrong.
Wow. So what did you do?
Well, I had to improvise and show to my classmates a YouTube video to solve my mark. Yes.
Did you get a good mark?
More or less, I got 8 or 7. That is not very good at Mexico. Yes.
Is it 7 out of 10?
Yes.
Okay.
7 out of 10, yes.
Okay. All right. And Nong, how about you? Have you seen this type of thing happen?
Yes. In my English group, my friends always, some leaders always have presentation, and sometimes the connection between data projector and the laptop, it doesn't work. So we have to plug out the cable. I don't know how to say to maybe to connect between data projector and the laptop.
Okay, and so you had to basically improvise a little bit. Yeah, I personally have had this happen when I'm teaching, and I've learned through the years to always have a backup. And thankfully here at Verbling, I very rarely need to use my backup, but I always have one, so just in case something happens. So, so useful expressions. Let's put the following expressions into the correct category below. So we have introductions, starting the main points, signposting. Does everybody know what signposting is?
No.
Okay. David, do you know?
No, I don't have any idea.
Okay. Nong, do you have any idea?
No, I don't know.
Okay. Signpost. By the way, if any of you guys are going to ever take the IELTS, this is an area that you might need to learn as well, signposting. And one of the things about signposting is it's basically it's like a mini introduction, showing basically what the person is going to be saying next. So it's kind of another thing you could call it maybe is like a transition. When you move from one area to another, you're going to tell the person, say for example, you're giving a presentation and you're starting and you're talking about maybe the background and then you're going to talk about the present situation, and then you go on to the future plans, right? Which can be a typical presentation. And what you do is when you switch from the background to the present situation, that would be a signpost. Okay, now I'm going to discuss what we are going to do now, what we are planning to do in the future, what we are planning to do now. So that's basically what it is. It is telling the listeners exactly what you are going to do next. So, any questions? Okay, so let's, we have signposting. David, do you have a question?
No, everything is clear, don't worry.
Okay. Okay, I hear myself when you unmute, so I'm like, oh, he has a question. So we have giving more details, referring to visual aids, and inviting and dealing with questions, and concluding the presentation. So what we're going to do is we're going to read through these presentations and make sure you guys know all of them, and maybe when you have to do a presentation, you can actually refer to this material if you need to. All right, so let's start. Nong, can you read the first line, and then together we'll decide where it goes.
Yes. Are we all ready? Okay. I'm here to talk about.
Okay, so are we all ready? Okay, I'm here to talk about. And so where would that go?
I think it's introductions.
Yes, it is definitely introductions. Very good. Hi, AKA Ken. Okay, Ken, welcome. All right, and the next one, David, could you read this one?
Could you be a little more specific? Is stating the main points?
No. Let me go down to where.
Yes, I could see the rest of the sheet. Well, giving me more details.
It's actually inviting and dealing with questions.
Okay.
So, could you be a little bit more specific? It's something you could say if somebody asks a question and you don't completely understand it. So you would say, could you be a little bit more specific? So, okay. Okay.
Yes, hello.
Can you speak now? Hello. So
Yes.
we're going over some phrases having to do with presentations.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have the different topics or different sections of a presentation, and we're going over the different phrases and putting them in the right place.
Okay.
Okay, Alexander, can you read this? Excuse me, and put it in the correct place.
Good question, but I'm afraid that's not really my field.
Okay, what section do you think that would be in? Any idea? Anyone? It would be inviting and dealing with questions. Good question, but I'm afraid that's not really my field. So if they ask a question that you don't know how to answer because it's not part of what you do, okay? Okay, can you read the next one?
Okay. Good question, but I'm afraid no. I'd like to digress for a moment.
So I'd like to digress for a moment.
What is digress?
Okay, if you digress, say for example, right now, we are talking about presentations and the phrases having to do with presentations. If we were to digress from this, pretty soon, like in 3 minutes, if we digress, maybe we'll start talking about politics. We're not talking about presentations and we start talking about politics. We are digressing. We're moving from one topic to another, and when you digress, the topic doesn't have anything to do with what they started talking about.
Mm.
So
That kind of sounds like a side topic.
yeah, it's and yeah, it's definitely a side topic. If you digress, you have a side topic going on. Absolutely. So
signposting.
Yes, signposting. Signposting is when you he's actually telling the group that he's going to digress. He's going to move to a side topic for a moment, and then he's coming back. So when you signpost, it's when you actually give the listeners an idea of where you are going. Okay? All right. So next one. Anang, can you read the next one?
I'd like to explain this problem.
Okay. I'd like to, instead of explain, I'd like to expand. Expand. Okay, do you know what that means? I'd like to expand on this problem.
I think it's giving more details.
Yes. If you give more details, you're expanding on the problem. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. David, can you read the next one? Let me go back up.
I like to introduce myself before we start. My name is introduction.
Yes, perfect. Okay, and Alexander, the next one.
Oh, what is the next, please? Could you?
Oh, sorry, right here. Here, I'll just move it down. The one on the top.
I'm going to. Sorry. I'm going to discuss that point later.
Okay. Any idea what that one would be? I'm going to discuss that point later.
Inviting and dealing with questions.
Perfect. Inviting and dealing with questions. Excellent. All right. And Ake. Next one.
Okay. Let me elaborate on that.
Yeah, let me elaborate on that. Let me go down to the topics.
Maybe give more details.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Give more details. Okay, and next one, Anang.
Sorry, teacher. Sorry, teacher. What does this mean about elaborate?
Okay, elaborate means to talk in detail about something. So, say for example, maybe you heard it. Somebody say, "I went to the space shuttle launching," and you want to know more. You can actually say, "Can you elaborate on your trip?" So basically, can you tell more? Is to elaborate.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
It also means explaining more.
Yes, and
It's
giving
also
more.
Meaning explain.
Yes, and giving more details.
Okay.
A lot more details. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Let's go to the next one.
Oh yes. Let me summarize the main points. First, second. I think it's stating the main points.
Okay. Stating the main points. Actually, it's signposting, which is very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Signposting.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And next one, David.
Let's go back to can you move the sheet, please?
I absolutely will. So it's in this section. So
Science posting.
yes. So let's go back to his sign posting. Okay. And Alexander.
My presentation will focus on three main areas. Introductions.
It's a little bit after that. It would be stating the main points. Stating the main points. Okay, and Ake, the next one.
Okay. Right. I think we've covered everything. Thank you all very much for your attention. Kind of conclusion.
Okay, yes. Even though that wasn't the, we'll do that one, but we skipped a few. So, but that is the conclusion, definitely. Okay, and then the next one. Oh, looks like Nong's having some internet problems. So David, can you read the next one? This one that starts right here.
Yes. And my presentation will focus on three main ideas.
We've already done that one. I'm sorry. Now let's look at.
Okay. Now let's look at. Well, science posting.
Signposting, yeah. I think you're getting an idea what signposting is based on this. Excellent. Okay, bear with me a moment. Okay, and then we've got just a few more. Alexander, could you read this one that's starting with okay?
Okay, let's move on the next point, area problem. Signposting.
Also signposting, perfect. And Nong, can you speak?
Oh, yes.
Okay, good. I noticed you were having internet issues. So,
Yes, teacher.
yeah, and the next one, so starting with the word take.
The next one, right? I think we cover everything. Thank you all very much for your attention.
Okay, excellent. So do the next one right after
Next
that.
one.
Yeah.
Okay. Take a look at this. As you can see the figures, so I think it is
Okay.
explaining more details.
And
more
it's
details.
yeah, and it's actually referring to visual aids. So take a look at this. As you can see, the figures show. So he's actually referring to something he can actually show. Okay, and then the final one, David, which one? This one, the final one.
The topic of my presentation is, of course, introductions.
Perfect, perfect. Now, were any of these phrases new for you? Any questions about any of these phrases? No? Okay. And it looks like we won't have time to do this next section. You're going to give a presentation to the group. So we're going to move on to a discussion. So, Alexander, can you choose one of these questions and ask one of your colleagues?
Do you like making presentation? Why? Why not? Aka.
I don't like making presentation so much because of the preparation, and I tend to be a bit nervous in front of the people. But if the presentation succeeded, maybe I feel satisfaction about that.
Okay. Question for you guys. Okay, so we have the word, the person who wrote this material said making presentations. What's another verb instead of make?
Giving.
Giving, yes. Yeah, so giving is more common than making. So just to let you know. All right. Okay, can you choose a question and ask somebody?
Okay, for example, Nang, what do you think when you hear the word presentation?
For me, it's a meeting, and if I go to the presentation, I will learn a lot of information. I will hear about the main topic that a speaker will talk very clearly, and talking about presentation, I imagine that if I want to be a leader in the future, I have to know how to present.
Excellent. Very good. Very good
Yeah.
answer. Very good answer. Okay, and Nong, can you choose one of these questions?
Uh,
And
David?
ask David.
Yes,
Yeah.
David. Do you like listening to presentations?
Well, yes, I really fancy to like presentation because when I usually hear presentation, I can learn more about the topic that I had no idea about it.
Do any of you guys ever listen to TED Talks?
Yes,
Yes.
me. I'm keen on to listening TED Talk.
Yeah.
I'm listening all the time. Very helpful.
Really?
Yes.
What kinds of topics do you listen to?
Many of them about science, health, and invention. And I started it because we have very good Russian English learning um, service that they make from TED videos very good thing. It's like when video and you see subtitles, you can click on the word on subtitles or phrase, and it pops up the translation.
Oh.
It's very interesting and it's very useful. I'll show you later. I'll share your screen with it and show you maybe in other classes
Yeah,
when we have time.
yeah, that would be interesting to see.
Yes,
Um,
very good.
'Cause there is a couple lessons I've looked at for teaching at Verbling, and one of them actually had a TED Talk, and I've been hesitating whether to use it or not, but based on what you just said, maybe I should. So it's on sleep, whether we really need as much sleep as we get. So, um, uh, okay. No, David, could you choose a question and ask somebody?
Uh, uh, what do you think of PowerPoint, or are you good at using it, Alexander?
It's very helpful for giving presentation, but I'm not usually use it, and I before my final exam I didn't know how to use it, and I have to learn it. But it's very good tool for presentation, for work, for study, etc.
Did you learn to give it, did you learn it by just going into the software and figuring it out, or did you watch a tutorial?
No, I learned it myself.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly everything that's relevant with software or some high-tech learn for myself.
Yeah. All right, thanks. Alexander, can you choose a question?
Nine, whose presentation would you like to see anyone in the world, and why? To David.
Well, maybe a presentation about the issues that the Eastern state are having, because I really like that topic, and I don't know. Sorry, I am sleepy right now.
Yeah, it's late. So presentation on what? On what the Eastern states are?
Yes, of Eastern states. Well, sorry, I am not thinking. I am not thinking very well.
It's okay. I totally understand. So anyway, but there is a topic that you are passionate about as far as the Eastern, like European states?
Eastern states, or about Russia, about Crimea, or something like that. International problems.
Okay. Got it. So the Eastern
state that the problem. Yes.
Eastern European.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I needed to know. I thought that's what you were talking about. One thing you could call that is a former Eastern Bloc. So, or former Soviet bloc.
Yes.
Let me write it down.
I don't. Can I pass with the next one? I'm gonna read. Yes.
Got it. Okay. I'll go ahead and ask a question. Okay. What advice would you give to people making a presentation?
Maybe preparation and a good eye contact and using visual aid effectively, because sometimes PowerPoint make people use a very complicated chart or design of PowerPoint. That's difficult to understand. Listening to, because audience have to watch and have to listen the presentation. So making a PowerPoint presentation effectively. Yeah, not too complicated or something like that. Yeah, and relax, maybe. Yeah, not too nervous. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And it looks like we're out of time. So David, you can go to sleep now. So I hope you've learned some new phrases and got a chance to practice. And I do want to thank you all for your participation and hope to see you again in another class. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, teacher.
Sleep well, David. Sleep well, David. Bye.